the enlightenment chasers. Royalties of peace.
Royalties of peace.
We are still in the storms, back to peace that has no storm, while holding on to perfect peace. Today is February 24th of 2025. Back to peace. It is a Monday. No storm. And I bring to us holding on to perfect peace, our 18th episode, yes, of the golden age. No matter what may be happening, we must hold our counting ground. The 100 days of what intervention of His Excellency we are enabling President Donald Trump, while on this journey in the White House to the eternity perfect. Going through the news today, I have been the mind of battlefield free. We must holding on to the key of enlightenment, of none left behind. Perfect peace, our origin. This such that even if we think that the forefathers failed, the 15th episode we of the golden today age cannot be a failure. For traditions must reach February 19th of 2025. We must be, it is a Wednesday, the fulfilling of our forefathers. Assured our purpose was to reach bring to the battlefield free of the mind and not making battles. While at this time, the physical state of the being, of complexity of the mind. This is Black History Month and the month of love. No matter the chaos, we are almost rounding up to hold the end Black goal. History Month and the month of love. The solution to the problem is the core. Heading into the Women History Month, there cannot be a problem. Well, I want us to complete. The problem is generated from this week. What am I saying? On our purpose of being humanity only. The human race has suffered so much of the solution, impossible to be disrupted. Cruelty. It is time we begin to redefine navigating through this time. The true meaning of the journey. Must we reach the destination? The true meaning behind our origin. It is not new to us, the history of the United States of America, but rather the problem should be new to us. But impossible because we have been through this road for a while. Of creating this is not the first unique nation presidency called the United States of America or administration of the United States of America for the world. Even to look onto and recover from all individualized hope. We experienced conflicts with the forefathers of the Western between world. Parents. It started from the very origin of being relatives, blacks, seeking for light. We all understand that we all, the black age, seeking for the age of light. Something to worry about. Today, the enlightenment becoming of perfection might be easy to solve. Meaning some just take a longer time. Our purpose, which is why we always before even to start fulfilling their long-term goals. By affirming, it might have come mindset to our forefathers that in this administration there has been so much disruption so far that has not considering the administration experienced like in the days of the civil rights, considering the administration of President Trump and civil wars. There's a long time of silence that we have been struggling that today, just a little shake of the ground. In the long term, it will begin to feel like of the same, all just go down. Struggles. How we express how we feel right now is because of the past. It is time for us to really realize in the past we were aiming at, which we don't want them to repeat themselves, to reach the Generation Z. Today, still, confused,
going through the news.
Yet we are glad it takes just
today
a twinkle of an eye to come to our senses,
trying
because
to
we are
gather
humans.
information of how we the people are reacting towards the administration.
The power of being humans is we can take just a blink of an eye
commencement of the golden age
to come
how
to
it
our
is being
senses
approached.
and begin to seek wellness.
What
Which
is
is what we are yearning for.
curiosity of the people? Is
After
it
watching the
positive or
news,
realizing
negative,
how much
we the people
negative
are
can never be
struggling
real
with
but
understanding
only
the administration of
a
President
daydreaming?
Donald Trump, or a nightmare that we all can only individually awaken
I
out of it
revisited
without the other. But no one can know if you are having a nightmare or not until you awaken and tell your story. The History channel on YouTube to really
the White House
refreshing my mind again on what
the president.
segregation really meant. It's not new to us. It seems like it is time for us
when we the
to
people
call on segregation of
ourselves.
expected. Time for every
We
member
hardly can really relate
of their
with our
own
own individual self
to really sit back
only
and
still
reflect
in training to understand who
on
we
what
are
our
as
purpose
an individual
is,
being.
being humans.
We make mistakes
and
correct
traveling this
ourselves.
road and building this
But we do
beautiful
not want drastic
nation
mistakes
called
or
the
United
mistakes
States
of
that are
America.
prolonged into
If it was
chaos.
about
How do we resolve
supremacy,
the
then
government of the
Rome
United
would have
States
built an empire that would have been
of America,
greater and even exceeding to
I always
the
want to
planets.
pave it in my mind to its expectation.
But because we are revolving only among ourselves, being
The
humans,
capital of the
we
multicultural
must
world.
understand the purpose is the enlightenment of the mind, the freeing
Some may
ourselves
not be
from
in
mental
agreement
slavery.
to it,
It's not only about being
claiming
black,
that
it's about
the
being
United States
human.
of America has always put
Why are we
itself
feeling enslaved?
of a white
The
supremacy,
more we multiply, we fail to fulfill the
where
purpose
no other
of reaching
race can speak out
the
except
enlightenment perfect
of a white race, detecting
The
to
more
all
we
other
multiply, we find ourselves divided.
cultures in the world and nations in the world
Must I
what
ask,
should be done
what is
and what
racism?
should not be done without
You
consideration.
might have heard racism is
Watching the
discrimination,
news
antagonism, prejudice, all
and learning
sorts
about
of complicated terms behind racism. But Wikipedia.org says racism is the belief that groups of humans possess different behavioral traits corresponding to physical
white supremacist far right
appearance and can be divided based on
extremist
the superiority of one's race over another.
named Sir
Superiority over one's race depends on what
Anders
is in demand.
Breivik in the
If
Norway.
it's power, strength that is in demand, the black
Well,
race
they
will be
say he
superior.
killed, but we
If
understand
it
that
is
he
intelligence
commanded the killing
of
of
technology
77 people in Norway.
and paving,
Also,
the white race will be superior. It depends on what is trending. For so long, the white race has
camp.
been trending.
Healing the same day.
Because they are fast.
It is
to
said that
reason.
this is a modern mass murder, indicating that he was not a primitive man
And
nor
their mindset
uneducated
is not
individual.
for simplicity.
We are not animals in
like
the sense that we are
of the black
higher
race
minds.
have been.
Humans are higher minds and not animals.
The
Animals
white
are
seek for luxury
primitive
and
creatures
health
that cannot
to
attain
align
to reach
a
perfect
higher
peace.
But we the
state
blacks, we
of
depend
intelligence.
only on
When we put ourselves
the
in
mind.
the kingdom,
We do not worry
animalia,
about luxury
it
because we believe that the physical world
our expectation being humans
has no value. There are very close
Our
relations
transparency
with some
is
animals
more of the
and
divinity.
plants.
We live
in the
more the
ocean.
divine life than the physical life. That has always been our background.
It is not about what you look like. It's
And
about
not
your mind.
with the white race, which is why their supremacy has always been overwhelming
And humans
on us.
are a very specific and unique kind of a being.
Racism. That
When we look back
definition is
in the
very
past
fulfilling of racism.
of the complications we have had,
Enough of defining racism being
of
something
complicated war
illegal,
orders,
so we can heal healthily.
these
So we
are
can
only
relearn
owing to a
our
long-term
language
unsolved problems,
and become of expected.
which is why thinking out loud is so recommended.
Going back
And
again
how
to
we
segregation
address
after understanding
what is being
racism.
thought out loud matters. For no one is primitive, even when what is said
Segregation
may seem silly or fictional. It is very
might have been
important to
misunderstood
enable a lesson.
when the true meaning for segregation only means setting self apart.
It seems like we are beginning to
And
wonder
when you're
how
setting
much
self
power
apart,
should
it
the
is always
president
about
really have
divinity,
over
about
the nation.
cleansing.
Or is it time for us
Because it is
to
not easy to work with each other.
terminate the
Sometimes you
executive
get
branch
exhausted and need time alone
and let the
to
legislative
restore
and
a
judiciary
being.
take control?
But when we
There is no
learn
branch that
about
does not have its weakness. No individual without a weakness.
the fight against
So
segregation
many complaints have
in the
been going
Black
on
history,
with the presidency
we begin to think that
of this
segregation may
time.
be something not acceptable or cruel to human
The
race.
firing of workers
Especially after watching the
that has led
video
to some mismanagement and
on History Channel on YouTube
the bird flu
concerning the fight against segregation
and
in Birmingham.
unexpected malfunctions
Of 1963.
might not be
A city that was
expressed the way it would be if the president was a soft
under
or gentle president and we have the bird flu or other
a
malfunctions. It might be
segregationist
because
chief
there is need
of
for recruitment
police safety,
of
Chief
readjustment
Boo
and
Connor,
and shifts. But in this case, it's more of like the president
trying
is the
to
one trying to
understand
make shifts
his
and things
logic
are happening. Or might
of
have been that
paving
technically
segregation between blacks
they
and
might have
white
enabled
was a matter
mismanagement
of
and trying to
separating
fix it
and let them learn
owing to errors that are
what our
happening.
purpose is of the
Whatever the
nation, the United States
circumstance
of America.
that we are facing right now, what we really want
It was
to
the matter
emphasize
of
is
reaching
the
the
need
enlightenment of
for
the mind and freeing self from slavery was to come to the understanding
reliability,
of self-will, not to
self-reliability.
multiply, to cease from multiplying
I learned that
and
some
design the
leaders
world
are
and
even
redesign the
preferring
world,
to
not only by white man alone, but multicultural,
quit their
redesigning the world.
jobs than
This
having to
should
deal
have been very
with this
hard
presidency.
for the blacks
Because in some
multiplying has
cases
always
might
been
not be the best
blessing,
idea, but in some cases
but at the same
may be
time,
understandable. Just the fear
it
of
was
not
a
being
lesson,
one of those
a misunderstood
experiencing
lesson,
destruction happening
which was coming to light,
without being able to be in control.
might have been in a hard
Many,
way because
as
of
some are
multicultural
expressing
shocks
about
involved,
those
but
under
still
this
was
presidency
expressing itself,
have no
being our
choice
basic of
but
all
to
cultures,
follow the president's
to
orders,
seize
executive
the
orders.
physical life and return
Like Congress has no
the
power.
divinity, but of
Like this
mental
presidency
slavery.
is really
What is
becoming
the point to part the physical
overboard
life angry?
with control
We still
that is
war
affecting people
spiritually,
complicatedly.
and it takes understanding that our warring spiritually is because of our divisions. We need to return to perfect peace of one mind and one goal,
I looked at leadership management
of
of
no more
people
dividing But
It is
fusing
very obvious that you always need
back to one.
flexibility
When
it comes
blacks
to
and white
managing people,
race becomes the
because
human
we are
race,
not just a
the
people,
human race becoming the spiritual
but
race.
people with their own points
All
of
races
view
becoming
and
spiritual, the
weaknesses.
mind battlefield free,
Some are
where we
asymptomatic
are
to their
one
own
being.
problems, while others are symptomatic. And those that are symptomatic are very dangerous because it's very hard to
This
correct them or
segregationist,
help them
chief of public safety,
to correct
Chief Bull
themselves.
Connor,
No one corrects you, but only you can
was
correct
so
yourself.
hard
Like I said in the last
in his
episode,
strategy,
that
such
if you
that
take a
the
horse
blacks were
to
even
the
telling
stream, you cannot force it to drink. Only it can
Reverend
drink its
Martin
water.
Luther King Jr. that
And no matter how long it
nonviolence
cries thirst, we
cannot
can only
resolve
keep on
this
encouraging.
case.
But in this case,
It was more of
we
like a
have
challenge
the
on a
young generation
nonviolence strategy,
who are so
which
prior
Reverend Martin Luther King Jr.
for our very
enabled.
existence.
And
Because
then the
because
suggestion
it is by our
own that was
reason
brought
that
up
they are
was
here.
to
They
let
did
the
not come here
children
on their
be the
own.
one
We made them to come
stand
here. And we are responsible in making sure that they
for
are
the
taken
blacks,
care of,
the
and
black children, which will
reach
humble the heart
integrity of expected.
of one. Coming to
Who
our
is
senses
so hard
on the black
requires
people. Seeing children
reviewing
will humble him.
leadership and
But
management.
what this
The
segregationist did
cohesive
was
leadership
he sent out
requiring
dogs
immediate
and
compliance.
water hose
The authoritative
after the children,
mobilizing people.
if there were no
Their
dogs, the water hose
vision
would have been enough expression that
they
non-violence is
leadership,
always the solution. But why dogs?
expecting excellence and
With children.
self-direction. Affiliative
But
leadership
why sending out dogs?
centers
And
around building emotional
blacks
bonds.
sending out the children.
Democratic
It
leadership
was sad that we had to like look at
involves
this strategy.
creating
It really showed how much
and coaching leadership,
pressure was on the black people not to fail.
developing people for the future. We are supposed to be
Not this time,
coaching
coming this far.
the
One
future,
will not
but
hold us
rather
back.
we are faced with our own weaknesses.
When you have done all 99 well, and then one
we are not
cornerstone has
efficient
to
coaches.
drop you down, it hurts.
Okay, some are blaming it on those
To even
who
think
elected
that
the president.
we even thought to put
The
the children
majority
in
of the
front of the
votes.
line for war.
Are there in regret?
Anything
Is
could
it
have
about
happened to
the
the
president
children.
or about what is going on? Interestingly, today,
This
I
was
heard from a source
frustration.
that it is not
Reverend
really about
Martin
the
Luther King Jr.
president, but
was
who is feeding
frustrated.
the president
And all
with
this
information of
for us, the women, to really think what we have
racial
put our
supremacy,
men
the white supremacy.
up to, affecting even our children, multiplying. We may say, but the men are the reason why we multiply. But we know that the seed of multiplying is with woman. And when a woman triggers another man, others come
It seems
by.
like there's an investigation going on
Just one aroma
on who is feeding the president
is enough to turn on a lot
with white
of chaos
supremacy
among the men
philosophy,
against the women. Multiplying is against a woman.
enabling the domination.
But why are women so into
By the exclusion
multiplying? It is not a tradition.
and detriment
It's a matter of
other
low
races
self-esteem, complicated
and
grief.
ethnic groups.
It is
like
time we
blacks,
embrace ourselves
Jews,
being women and really focus on us. It's time for us to
and
really
others.
segregate from the men and really focus on
Is
us.
this what is really
is
going
our
on?
problem?
According to my point of view,
Why are we so
may not be
bond with
what
having
others
children?
are experiencing.
Has our
I'm beginning to realize
rules
that we the
become
people are
our
first of all
desire?
needing to first of all consider our weaknesses.
It's time for us to
That is
really
first
heal
of all
each other.
destroy
We need therapy.
the purpose of America in
Black
general.
History Month and love.
Before we even look at the United States of America alone, America
What
has been
if this water
so
hose
much
was fire?
disrupted
Brings
by
me
us,
back
the
to the
people of the United
Jewish
States of America.
genocide.
Not because it's our fault, but because we
Populated,
were
chose the
chosen
world
by our forefathers and
Yes,
placed
the blacks
in a
did
place
not
where we need to shine light.
migrate.
But being the coaches, we are not
The United
coaching
States
of
of America
expected
on their
because
own.
we do not really understand the purpose of our forefathers.
Even back in the days of
Is demoralizing.
The Jews in Egypt, the expectation of the United States of America, take themselves to Egypt for food. Enlightenment chasers. But in this case with blacks if you find yourself today in the United States of America, or even one, they are to fulfill the true hunger, which is the enlightenment of the mind. The diasporas of the United States of America, race on earth, all over the world. The most hungry color race on earth is black race. It's not just to follow, but to be humanity active. Started with black, and active takes the understanding of your purpose. Color race. It is, when it comes to mental slavery, undefined, freeing ourselves from mental slavery. In a situation like this today. Not blaming the president, not blaming the Congress, the pressure, but we that the white people feel needing to reconsider, and they need to force one out and for complicated grief can be very dangerous. The rest taking time to recover of the fingers are pointing back at the women, bruising and violence, because it is a woman that must we revisit biologically births our history and begin to understand. It's unfortunate that when you point a finger at the man, is the best, and how much better strategies we can prepare now, and it goes on and on before we face consequences. A man can never be frustrated while trying to make blame always ends with a woman. This first unfortunately, the woman is always in the States of America, subordinate of the man. We're already in pressure from the beginning. The woman is responsible. How they even came to even have the mindset to enable being non-violence. It's amazing. It's amazing. It testifies that even the black to stand for the right and be free from mental slavery, and then the opposite. And this is the time then we that even animals, but when we are in free from mental slavery of what is not if we really just enable this strategy of expected, understanding our forefathers when we are for plan concerning victims, our end goal when we are responsible. Peace. Transitioning from being humans to eternity. It is very lawful, it is very obvious that we transition from being humans to eternity. Call for help when I am the criminal, and not just being ghosts. Some are being suspended in the air because of the frustration that they see others still in the human form struggling with. Women are really become depressed and not even knowing how to navigate, find themselves being of more violence to stand their ground in the name of being ghosts. Women rule the world, but the men control. We must try to comprehend our now and the in-between us. It is only possible where there is a fault on the woman. We are the enlightened. We are on a journey, not trying to make it's time to really educate the Generation Z. What does that mean to us? If we have put a staple in power, taking high seats, being women, then we must be able to fulfill it. We cannot have one Trump left behind. Administration is very hot right now. Like one of the leaders said, for the sake of the democratic president that will be after injustice. It will not feel good to have a woman become president, and we have not even known our purpose being a woman. It starts like a seed to abstain growing to a tree from sexuality. To what is injustice here? From bringing down gods into our young generation watching us, into our battlefield of the physical being, instead of healing from the physical being battlefield and freeing the mind from mental state. Is it the president enabling chaos, or has it been an impact the world healthily surfacing? Because Generation Z is watching us. Is it the president that is enabling the problem? The babies or is it are watching us. Problem surfacing. How far we have come? Should we wait? Our ancestors. We cannot be the same. Leave the world and experience. We cannot be the same. Suffer. This administration is suffering right now, or do we only want to solve it now on the ground? The underlying, it's time for us to really, the underlying problem is now surfacing. And it's unfortunately affecting those that are present. Our purpose is to reach enlightenment, not unfortunately. It hurts the earth to hear all what is happening. Not trying people being to popularize resigning, people resigning, people being fired, people being pushed left and right. It hurts. It is quantity. Like a car is that has gone back and forth. Is the transporting people ground, and then to transport for every single one and to end halfway because the car got exhausted to walk, and these people have to really go through some stuff with quality. It is very sad. It has been quality a sweet life takes beautiful journey until now. You need to be able to maneuver of the Constitution, not being stuck struggling.
trying to reach
a
your
beautiful
end goal.
car that has been traveling with us. It's time for us to really repair. Humans are in charge of the world. It's important to really check and balance and really do it right. Not just imagine it, not just traditionally
White supremacy
doing it, but doing it with a reason. We must be able to aim at the reason and we'll do it well. It takes the end
which
goal
we all have
to have your right
but
intervention.
when one stays dormant,
we can testify that we have been
the other to
struggling because we don't really
dominant?
put the real end goal on the table.
And the one in dominion
we don't
can
just
only
bring in
be
interventions
enlightenment
from
for the
everywhere.
other
We need to
to
follow
recover and
the
equalize.
care plan by knowing the
Equality
end
for
goal,
each
the
other
short-term and the
takes
long-term goal.
an awakening,
It is time for us to really heal.
an awareness
really
of a weakness,
hurts.
seeking wellness.
We all are
Maybe
born
a
of a
long
woman.
term of asymptomatic
We all were once 2-year-olds.
does not deprive us from
Being
reaching
at the hot
equality
seats right
that
now
we
and trying to
need.
rule the people, and then same time resigning and trying to hold hands. It's all about
Can
us,
only
the people,
happen
not even the administrators
how
that
we
is even
handle
struggling right now.
the problem.
We the people really
When
have to really
someone
sit
is
back and really
expressing
figure it out.
pain,
What our plan
we need
is
to be
for
able to
our
have therapeutic
own
communication.
world,
When the
not only the
president
nation.
is complaining, we need to figure out
Long
how to
live United States of
enable
America.
a coolant,
Long live
not
the
trying to
Enlightenment
make more
chasers.
provocation
Long live
and then blame it on the one crying.
freedom.
When the baby is crying, you
from
don't
mental
provoke
slavery.
the baby. You try to
Perfect
find a means
peace
to have a place where you
awaits
can
us all.
walk
One day we will all really
eye level
stand
to comprehension.
together.
We are trying
like
to
one.
heal, not trying
The Statue of
to
Liberty,
destroy.
of none left behind, with all smiles on
Talking
our face
about
of work well done.
the
And we
ethnic
can start it now
cleansing.
by appeasing each other
Ethnic
and not
cleansing,
rejecting even the one that is putting
removing
pressure,
people from a land
because
can
we
be
have started the
very
pressure for a long time.
detriment.
We have
Because
been
it
failing each other
destroys
for a
your
long time.
identity,
We cannot point the
yourself,
finger just at one.
This is
Let us
like the
please be
asymptomatic
able to pray
that
for
the
each other.
nomads have been
We
going
need
through.
prayers.
Our ancestors
We
who
need
have
to
been
pray among
traveling,
ourselves. Thank you.
migrating,
Peace stills the storm.
have the
Thanks to peace that has
asymptomatic
no storm.
diagnosis of
perfect peace. Holding on to perfect
identity.
peace. The enlightenment chasers.
Relation.
Royalties of peace.
The crisis of identity
We are
relation.
still in the storms. Back
when
to
you stay
peace
long
that
away,
has no storm.
coming back to your own people,
while
it's like
holding
coming
on to
another
perfect
new
peace.
land, not being able to relate with each other.
Today is February 24th of 2025.
Every stage of our being,
it is a Monday.
When you clock 5,
and I bring to us,
you are not that 2 months old. When you clock 12,
episode,
identity confusion,
of the golden age.
Real confusion is not just only at the age of 12,
counting
but continues.
100 days.
Every new is like confusion
of His Excellency.
You have to relearn
President Donald
every
Trump.
stage that you come into.
In the White
What
House.
others have experienced, you may experience it, but in a little different.
Going through the news today,
strategy, approach.
I have been pondering of the mind
with a different strategy approach.
Holding on to the key of
It's time for us to
enlightenment.
really reconsider the era in which we live.
Perfect peace, our origin.
With smarter techniques. What is
Such
smart?
that even
Smart
if
is what brings
we
good.
think that the
It is not
forefathers
smartness to breast pump.
we today cannot
It is
be a
rather
failure.
hard work.
For traditions
The
must reach
smartness is the child.
reasoning.
Taking time
We
to
must
suck
be the fulfilling of our
and the milk
forefathers.
pumped.
Assured our purpose was to reach
To come to their senses.
the battlefield free of the mind.
I'm not supposed to even
and not making battles.
eat from a mammalia
the physical
gland,
state of the being.
but rather eating plants eating plants is a
This is
struggle.
Black History Month and the month of love.
And needing to
We are almost rounding
evacuate these premises of
up
complication.
the Black History Month.
Complication only
and the
means a
month
place
of
of
love.
landing, of pondering of the mind.
It only becomes complicated when we extend
Heading
the stage into the Women's
It is supposed to
History
be
Month.
a learning ground.
Will I want us to
And not
complete
what to keep for tradition or become
this week
habitated.
reflecting on our purpose of being
It's
humanity.
not a habitat to keep.
The human race
is not to become an
adaptive
so much
place to live in,
but rather
cruelty
place to learn
It is
and
time we
return
begin
to
to
the expected of
redefine
the mind.
the
While
true
we are
meaning.
going through politics, let us understand politics is spirituality. Humanity is
The
spirituality.
true meaning behind
Whatever humans are doing is spirituality. And spirituality is divinity. And
the
divinity is
history of
eternity.
the United States of
Eternity
America.
is perfect peace. Our journey from the place of storm, of brainstorming, should not be complicated. Let us heal from the
of
extending
creating
this
prolongation
unique nation of time called the United States
all
of
the
America.
pressures we are feeling
of the earth,
was to be the
fires
city
and all this
on the hill
for
for
the
the
firing
world
of guns is because of to look
the
onto and recover
prolongation,
from all disruption,
the increase of population,
extending our
it did not
stay.
start
Every
forefathers
time we are reaching
of the Western
the
world.
end stages, it started
We
from
make
the very
another new
origin
against
of
the
being
expectation of our
blacks.
forefathers.
Seeking
We are
for
supposed to be
life
ascending.
and no one descending.
The black age,
If they made a
seeking for the
mistake,
age of light.
we learn from the mistakes and make lessons.
And
the
today
lessons
the
become
enlightenment
blessings,
becoming of
not
perfection.
a tradition, but reaching reason,
meaning of comprehension of our
But they have
purpose.
reached so many reasoning, and we have
Before even to
received this
start
reasoning a
fulfilling
blessing. Must we be able to complete the rest of the reasoning we need to
by
achieve?
affirming
Constitution is the care plan.
the mindset of our
Must be
forefathers.
worked with effectively. It wouldn't have been this hard if we had started gracefully. It is not only by one president to begin to emphasize the need to work
Considering
efficiently
the
with
administration,
quality. It's not about people looking for jobs,
considering
but
the
rather
administration of
people
President
retiring
Trump,
from jobs. It has come to my
needing
notice that we have been
to
struggling not today.
retire early,
It's been a long term
meaning work already done.
of the
What
same. People will take 60 years to complete. If you
struggles.
completed in 5 years, what a celebration of 55 years. We must not work hard. It is time we begin to comprehend
It is
what
time for
is
us to
trying
really
to
realize
come to us
what we
from
were
our
aiming
ancestors. The tree has
to
reached
reach
its
the
fullness
generation
of
Z.
blossoming. It's no longer a
Today
seed,
still
but we must be able to
confused,
help each other
yet we are glad
adapt just to the perfection of our being,
the twinkle of an
without
eye
experiencing
to come to our
disruption,
senses.
because we are humans. When we have babies, we cannot be
The
transformed
power of being humans
into air.
is we can take just a blink of an eye to come to our
We
senses.
should be able to be humans of expected
and begin to seek wellness
for the young,
which is what
to heal
we
of
are
expected.
yearning for.
I hope this message of this episode
After
helps us to
watching the
reflect
news,
while we journey this road,
realizing how much
losing your
we
identity
the
is
people
like
are
killing
struggling.
self.
It's
It's
like
understanding
being
the
killed.
administration of President
Donald Trump,
the ethnic cleansing of Gaza. It's like killing.
I revisited
The Palestinians. Killing their identity is like destroying them. We need not gun massacre.
the
We
history
need not
channel
making
on YouTube
complicated griefs.
to really
It's time to cease fire, and ceasefire will
refreshing
take
my
some
mind again on what
movements which are
segregation really meant.
healthier than any other.
It seems like it is
But
time
it must
for us to
be of
call
mutual
on
love.
segregation of expected. Time for every member of their own
and healing of
to really sit back and
wellness
reflect
without discrimination.
on what our purpose is, being humans,
Leading
and
onto
traveling
the
this
next
road
president
and building
who
this
is preparing
beautiful
himself
nation
to clock in
called the
after a
United
few
States of
years
America. If it was
to
about
really be able to not
supremacy,
poison self with all the
then
complications,
Rome
but
would
rather
have
enable
built
a strategy that will
an
appease
empire
that would have been
and not
demoralize
greater
and even
the
exceeding
healing
that we're
to
trying to
the
achieve
planets.
from our yesterday mistakes.
But
For the
because we are
young really
involving
need
only among
us
ourselves
to
being
accomplish
humans,
health
we must
and
understand the
wealth.
purpose is
Not
the
just
enlightenment of the mind,
health,
the freeing ourselves from mental
or
slavery.
not just wealth,
It's
but
not
both.
only about being black.
Thank you all for listening.
It's about being humans.
Back to peace that has no storm.
Why are we feeling enslaved?
Looking on to perfect peace.
The more we multiply, we fail to
comment
fulfill
and
the
let us
purpose
meditate
of
and
reaching
think together and help each other.
the enlightenment perfect.
What should be established
The more
so we do not
we
conflict each
multiply,
other.
we
Thank
find
you.
ourselves divided.